Alright, everybody say, I'm a clicker and I'm proud. Yeah, no way. Being a keybinder and binding your keys is a lot more efficient. Hey guys, this is Reinhardt and today I'll be talking about key bindings. I got a lot of requests, people asking me to show them my key bindings and the way I use it, which kinda reminds me of a story we had in Russia. I actually never heard of it, that we had it in USSR, but I heard from an economist in America. And what she said basically is USSR estimated the average shoe size in USSR was 9.5. And what they did is they basically started manufacturing a lot of 9.5 shoes because they estimated that they're gonna save a lot of money and a lot of labor by actually making one standard shoe size, which completely failed because, as we all know, everybody has a lot of different shoe sizes. The same thing applies to key bindings as well. So what I mean by that is not necessarily my key bindings would be very easy to use for individual, or I'll be comfortable using the other person key bindings. Even if it's a rank 1 DK, amazing, most amazing Death Knight in the world that you can picture of, I still probably won't use his key bindings because we're two different individuals, just like I won't practically using his shoes. On the other hand, like I told you guys, I am not big favor of giving people a fish. I would rather teach them how to fish. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a basic frame of my key bindings and a basic logic and reasoning on how to use them and when to use them. And then you can decide by yourself, do you want to stick to my frame, do you want to make my own key bindings, copy them, or do you want to build your own frame, and I'll show you how to do that. Really quick, I wasn't a key binder myself since I was born. There's no such thing as, hey, we have a baby, yay, it's a key binder. Oh, we have another baby, oh man, this baby's a clicker. No, everything is learned, everything is practiced, everything requires a good amount of work and dedication, and that's how you become good. For me, switching from clicker to key binder was a pretty difficult task, but right now currently I'm using up to 72 key bindings as unholy, and the way I worked on it is I would make 5 key bindings and I would add it into my rotation every single week up to 2 months. After I had a basic set of almost all the key bindings I wanted, then I became fancy and made a mouse over macros, mouse over key bindings, focus of arena 1, focus arena 2, focus arena 3, and so on. Alright guys, so let's talk about keybinds. Let me tell you about my frame. The frame that I'm using that is practically identical throughout all the characters. So you can either have a choice to either build up on my frame, use some elements of my frame, or make your own frame when it comes to keybinds. First of all, really quickly, I'm using add-on for bars. It's called Dominoes. And the reason why I like that add-on is because, first of all, it's very highly customizable. You can customize your bars anywhere you want to, for example, as you guys can see here. The second is because you can bind almost anything your heart desires. For example, I have shift left click 1 as my filler. It's usually for a blood tap, something insufficient but something that I can use. And the last one is Dominoes requires a third or a fourth of a data usage than any other bar add-ons. What I mean by that is it's gonna lag you a lot less. So let's get started. Let's talk about my frame now. 1 through 5 are my basic DPS rotation. I'm also using Razor Naga, and I have N1 and N2, which stands for number luck 1, number luck 2, are my filler into my DPS rotation as well. I have 1 for Chain of Ice, 2 for Plague Strike, 3 for Scorch Strike, 4 for Necrotic Strike, 5 for Death and Decay, and 1 for Death Scroll, and 2 for Festering Strike on my Unholy set. Usually my number 1 is SEC or a filler that has a utility in PvP that I can use. For my Warrior, 1 is a Hamstring. For my Luck, 1 is a Fear, something that I'll have to be using very often in my rotation. Now, for my interrupts, I like it E. Let me actually correct myself. I'm not gonna have anything but E for my interrupts. And the reason why is because I'm controlling my character like an FPS. I'm using strafe left and right, and I'm using right click mouse button to turn myself. So what that means is I'm not using double click mouse like most of the other players. That means that for my point finger needs to have a very close and very short distance for an interrupt, and that's E. E is so easy to interrupt. If I see something casting, I'm pressing E. Right away I get that interrupt off. That's why you guys see in my videos when I interrupt mass dispels, fast divine lights. That's only possible because of my keybind for an E. Very short distance. For my gap closing is R. The reason why I like R for a gap closer is because it's very reachable and you don't use it very often, but you're still kind of using it often enough to have your finger have a very short distance. R for my Death Knight is Death Grip. R for my Warrior is Charge. Then I have also Escape mechanic. It stands for B. B for my Fast Death Knight is Hungering Call. B for my Warrior is Intervene. For my Mage is Blink. For my Warlock is Port. I'm also like using my defensives for N4 and 5 and 6 on my Razor Naga. And 4 for my Death Knights would be Iceman Fortitude. For my Warrior, that would be a Shield Wall. Basic cooldowns, defensive cooldowns, you need to pop them. For my basic healing, extreme healing that I have to pull off, it's H. H, very easy to use. I usually use it with my thumb and it's very reachable. For my secondary, so to say, damage boost, I usually use G. G stands for my pet is Enrage My Pet. For my Death Knight, it stands for Pillar Frost. For my Warlock, it stands for Demon Soul. For Warrior, it stands for Recklessness. Q is another one of the offensive cooldowns that I like using it. Q for my DK is Dark Simulacrum. For Warrior is Deadly Calm. Something that has a relatively lower cooldown, but I'm still gonna be using it quite often. Another thing what I want to talk to you guys about is F. F usually stands as the finisher. Unfortunately, DK don't have any finishers, so I'm not using it. But for my Warlock, F is a Soul Drain. For my Warrior, F is Execute. It's sort of like finisher. Fuck you, F. Yes, that's my finisher. Don't touch it. And that's basically it. I'm also using Control 1, 2, 3, F1, 2, 3. I'm using Shift 1 through 5. And I have a basic things for them. And they usually differ from one character to another. So now you are kinda wondering, well, what the hell? This video is pointless. I just wasted your time. And this is not my intention. And the reason is why I think I didn't waste your time watching my video is because I'm showing you my frame. And my frame when it comes to playing video games is the keybinds, the skills that I use the most are gonna be located much closer to my fingers when I'm controlling my character. Also, the keybinds that I use not as often but still kinda often will be in an average distance from my character. And the keybinds that I'm not using very often I usually will be associated with a high long CDs that I'm not be using very often as well. For example, F1, F2, F3. It's shifting focuses. I'm using it once or twice per arena. It's a huge distance for your fingers to go. That's why I usually like to keep it pretty far away. For my shift 2, it requires a combination of 2 fingers. It's a triangulate. It's a 2-minute CD. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. Basically, the most comfortable gets to the whatever I'm using first. A lot of people ask me, how the hell is my rotation is so much better? How the hell am I on DPSing people when they have a 10 to 20 gear score better than me? And the reason why is because the simplicity. Simplicity is the key. That's what I said in my macros and I'm repeating it here. Simplicity is the best way to go. It's the best possible way to go for you when it comes to keybinds. Whatever you use more frequently, use it on a faster and better reachable keybinds. That's my main frame. So what you can do from here right now is to learn my frame, to understand what I'm doing. You can try it, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I know some people are using Shift F9. I have no idea how the hell they can pull it off. I mean, I don't know, they probably have to be a freaking Bigfoot and have like a huge arms to be able to reach those. That's not me. That's my keybind. That's my frame. Emergencies, interrupts have to be the priority on the positioning. My DPS rotation or my healing rotation have to be on a reachable priority. My longer cooldowns can be something that I can reach later, relatively shorter. Sorry for continuous jumping. Now guys, you have seen my keybinds. That's on my DK, and I can't explain you what is going on my log and on my warrior. And quite honestly, I am not gonna log on them and show you the same thing all over again, for two particular reasons. I wanna fraps all this into one session and see how much of a fail or how good of a video maker I am without editing and making a continuous stream. And second of all, you don't want to look at my character screens for the continuous stream. It's yucky, it's boring. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope that whatever I said today will help you. I'm also going to make a couple different videos. I already showed you my macros, my frame for using macros, but a lot of people still keep asking me what exact macros am I using. So I'm gonna show those macros. I'm gonna explain all of the macros. I'm gonna explain you little particularities and details. For example, I have a Scourge Strike or Plague Strike keybind, and some people think like, what the hell? Why would I keybind and macro that crap? And the reason why is I have a Dark Command, which is a Death Knight taunt, keybinded to my Scourge Strike, and it's usually a focused Dark Command. For example, if the healer is trying to go around the pillar and I'm DPSing on their DPS, my focused Dark Command will get off and the healer won't be able to get out of the combo to drink for the next 4 or 5 seconds. That'll give me enough time to react to see if my rune is coming up, so I can put Death and Decay there. Or for my healer go there and interrupt the drinking. Little stuff like that. That not necessarily a mandatory thing, but definitely helps in your performance. I am gonna take this season very, very seriously. I didn't get a gladiator, and I think the biggest problem was myself. I am not a big fan of Frost Decay spec. I think it's a very easy and very simple to use. I never liked it, I never enjoyed it. I got to 2700 multiple times, I got to 2600 multiple times, but I always like to hop around and I like to fuck around myself. This time I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be focused on getting into high arena, pushing for gladiator, possible in top 10 teams. I don't want to have a rank 1. I don't want to troll. I don't want to spend half of my life worrying that somebody's gonna take a rank 1 from me. But I want to be in a very, very good skill range category. So, with that said, everything that I'm gonna learn, everything that I'm gonna improve on, everything that's gonna practice on will be shown to you guys, so you guys can learn and so you guys can perform as well as I am. And you know what? I want you guys to perform much better than me, because if you're gonna start performing better than me, I'll get pissed off and I'll have to come up with something new, something fucked up and extraordinary, so I can become better than you are. Let's make that competition. Let's stick together and let's get this thing done. Thank you guys for watching my video. This is Reinhardt and I wish you the best.